Hi everyone, I'm going to be looking at King Charles and Harry's meeting recently in September. If you remember in the predictions I said it might not go ahead, something doesn't go to plan, there's something that's kind of rejected, and I think it's Harry that didn't get what he wants. So I'm going to see what the headlines say because I've been seeing thumbnails. And we're going to do a bit of a reading and see maybe why it didn't. So here, BBC says, Harry suggests people trying to sabotage reconciliation with King. The Duke of Sussex has suggested people are trying to sabotage his reconciliation with the King and described media reports about their recent meeting as critically false. Harry met with his father on the 10th of September in their first face-to-face meeting since February 2024. It's not that far ago, is it? However, a report in The Sun Saturday suggested the reunion had been more formal than expected, with the Duke reportedly left feeling like he was being treated as an official visitor rather than a family. Prince Harry's spokesman said the claims were pure invention fed. One can only assume by sources intent of sabotaging any reconciliation between father and son. The Sun said Prince Harry had confirmed aspects of its reporting. It said that the Duke's office was given full right of reply yesterday in advance of publication and opted not to give a response to the Sun after carefully sourced account of a meeting. The Duke's recent visit to the UK took place over 4 days, during which he carried out a series of charity events in Nottingham and London. Prince Harry, 41, has visited the country in the meantime for other engagements. Buckingham Palace confirmed that the pair had a private tea together during the visit that lasted 50 minutes. 50 minutes is, as I wanted to say, that's a really fair number to meet with him, but I don't know why 50 minutes stands out to me. I'm gonna pull cards on that. 50 minutes. It seems like it's a strategized number. Maybe it was 52 or something. They was like, let's just say 50. There's something about that number. So Harry, what I got is that Harry didn't get what he wanted out of this meeting. We're going to pull cards anyway and see. But, you know, one of the things I've said with Harry, his lesson in this world is humility. Once he reaches that, he's going to be such a pleasant person. He's going to be quite so stoic, spiritual, and I think people are going to start to slowly love him without him even trying, because he's going to be giving from the heart and knowing that he's been an absolute a-hole. But obviously that's going to take some time. So with that being said, let's see how the meeting went. It's best to get cards and then dive into it. I'm going to go for this. I mean, I think Harry's lucky King Charles met with him, but then imagine King Charles didn't meet with him. Imagine what would be circulated, what Harry would say as well. So I only wanted 3 cards. Take that one back. Okay, so energy between them, justice, judgment, 4 of Wands. We're a family. Justice is trying to bring into balance. Judgment, the perception. Okay, here I feel like we've got Charles here, we've got Charles and Meghan. The elephant in the room is the M. Okay, clearly. Okay, and peacefully walking away was the advice. So Charles's energy was like patient, in balance. Harry was like, I'm entitled, I need money, I want my status back, I want to be part of the royal family. It was more or less give me, as opposed to a balanced approach, as opposed to a repent, as opposed to an apology. And here the energy between them was obviously bringing in balance, a fair perception, a judgment of the situation between them, and then that they're a family, which, I mean, honestly, I'm taken back by the cards because they are just so on point in terms of this. What I do feel is that by the way, is Archie coming to school in the UK? I saw like a thumbnail of that, and I don't know if it was news or someone reading on it. So clearly Harry has said it's not gone down how he wanted. But what could have Harry have done? Here it tells me not approach it this way by give me. But let's see what the cards say. He's already kind of confessed there was an issue with the meeting, right? Which we kind of said there would be. Okay, so more on what did Harry do wrong? He didn't take it from a peaceful way, which was the advice. And he was really... Star card. Star card to me, he was really coming from a space of like hopefulness of what he wanted, the objective. And again, here there's the fish of prosperity. And it seems like he was just like, this is my wish. It's more or less a delivery. And that I've come from abroad to see you, because although these are the cards of, you know, what did he do wrong? What could he have done? His energy is this. So he's not doing this from a peaceful perspective and a giving or a repenting or apology. And obviously what happened was a lot of things along the way. And then the straw that broke the camel's back is what happened. And Harry seems to think that he could just come in with these heavy major arcanas as a status and think that he should be welcomed back and get what he wants. You know, he put a lot of dirty laundry out, didn't he, about the royals, which was not really needed. It doesn't seem with the cards I'm getting here that he's taken, I don't see any responsibility, because these are his cards. If I got this and this with another kind of card, okay, or even this being Harry's, I'd be like, seems like he tried to approach this from a balanced approach, maybe a give and take, maybe a yin and yang. But to me, I'm getting that it's still all about him, and the finger pointing is towards others, like blaming others, like there's no responsibility here that I see for the past. Can you see? This is kind of present energy. It's not showing me any past repenting, apology. Like, I don't even think he's tried to build like little cookies add cookies to the cookie jar towards King Charles, or little credits before he arrives. He's just like, I'm coming and I want to meet with you. That's the kind of energy I get with him, as opposed to, you know, my dad at one stage, you know, he did this, trying to rebuild along the way, add those credits in. How did Charles feel about Harry's approach? It looks like he brought out Princess Diana. Okay, that, you know, his mother, maybe the loss of his mother, and you should be more sympathetic or something. But he did bring up Princess Diana, bottom of the deck. Charles's approach was, you know, again, coming from a loving space, we got the Temperance again. Okay. Looking at a long term, but he was like kind of slow paced, and he wasn't like rushing to start, finish and deliver whatever he wanted. He was actually very thoughtful, strategizing, but not in a bad way, this overall meeting. But here we get, there's something that he didn't quite like, and I feel like this is actually Harry, that he felt Harry was not open to. And maybe that's where Harry's not taking responsibility for his past and kind of like blaming others. It seems like, you know, there's an ungratefulness for the time and the presence of that meeting from Harry. Queen of Swords, quite harsh energy, cold energy coming here. So, you know, Harry, is he trying to indicate it's William that didn't want this, you know, trying to intervene? Is it true that people were trying to intervene on this reconciliation? No, it's not true, because I haven't got one major arcana that I asked for, and I've got 3 cards. I want to see, was he trying to indicate William? Was Harry trying to indicate William? Yes, there's your High Priestess, the King of Wands. It seems like he was indicating William. I mean, he's very combative over William. I feel like this is Archie, so they might have discussed Archie. Is Archie coming for school? They've discussed Archie and something. Maybe William has said something, I don't know, but he did try to implicate, it might have been William here, like hidden. It's William, and he might have, it looks like he was quite combative of this suggestion. Maybe quite defensive, like, you know, you're taking William's side. Then William has been the loyal son with Catherine, hasn't they? Let's see, did he apologise in any way, even if it's the wrong way? And I'll tell you why I say the wrong way. Did Harry... No, it doesn't seem he did. He was quite straightforward in his words, especially when it came to Archie. It seems like he was bringing that forward a lot, as opposed to actually what he should do, which is the burden of 10 of Wands. He's carrying 9 of Wands. He's being very defensive. It's not the burden, it's 9 of Wands. So he was still being quite defensive. So it seems like he didn't really apologise, and if he apologised, it was not like a unreserved apology. It was more or less like, and I don't get he did apologise, but it was more or less like indicating, I'm getting that he's trying to apologise, but no, it was kind of like unreserved. So by that I mean is like, okay, maybe I did do this wrong and maybe I should say sorry, but you know you did this and you did that, right? It's not the way to do it. So I don't get that either. Seems it's still go back to this, it's very transactional. What it's like, it's transactional for him. Even here, look at this, transactional. Someone's folded their arms, they're not wanting because they want maybe all 4 cups being handed at the same time. I really feel like this 50 minutes is interesting, and I'm not saying they're manipulating it, but I feel like it's got a messaging, it's something. Not quite an hour, but 50 minutes. It's something about that number. Obviously, something Harry could have done is brought the kids. He's going to say about security, but if he brought the kids and Meghan and King Charles refused to meet them, that's King Charles is prerogative, right? But I think King Charles will meet his grandchildren. He might not meet Meghan, but the fact that the elephant in the room sits across in Montecito still shows that this is sour beans, and sour beans that they've created themselves, really. So I think he could have brought his grandchildren. He probably says security, and if Charles didn't see them, he'd probably leak it to the news. But I can't see that. I think King Charles would have seen him, and I think that would have been like a gentle step to bring, you know, kind of a bond to show that he wants to be part of the relationship. But it's still showing there's that still toxic influence at the back there. So even if Charles tries to do something or lend again another gesture where Harry's not given anything, at the back when Harry flies back, there's that elephant in the room that seems corrosive and toxic. And the reason I say that is because she hasn't joined him, so still there is that thing. It's also a thing like, you know, people seem to think that they have a right. Like if you have a family feud and the person comes back to apologise, but you've been like years of in pain with this, and they come back and you're not in the right space, or you are and you're like, I do want to at some stage, I'm not in the right space. So you say, I'm sorry, not right now. It's kind of like that other person feels like it's their prerogative. They've tried, and I think a lot of people don't understand that it's not on your timing all the time. It has to be the right timing for both sides. Maybe one side has been hoping for the last 5-10 years that you come back in pain and hurt and shocked that you haven't, and now you come back and maybe it's not the right time for them. But people don't seem to be mature that way. I mean, Charles doesn't seem to be taking off to rest, does he? So for him to meet his Harry, it is a good thing. Did Harry want shortcuts to just what he wanted without any give? Like he wants in, but he doesn't want to give or willing to do anything. Yeah, he was a bit back and forth. Like he really wasn't presenting anything. He was not in a solid state of what he's just kind of like he's more or less solid on what he wants, my confirmation, as opposed to what is he willing to present. And again, that he's lost. stuff, look. And there's that toxic energy which he goes back to, of like leaking stuff in the press, not coming from a good energy. So I think, you know, Harry probably needs to look at the way he's approaching everything, to be honest. But that's what I get in this reading. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.